Now there's another one that we want to do today using some tropical flowers that we refer to as a go green. These arrangements are really, really long lasting, and they're clean and they're not messy. And we use anthuriums, and we use lotus pods. They're expensive, but if for something special, they work really well. These last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. The lotus pods, which I love, they're beautiful, amazing. So you could do a large arrangement in the club with these tropical flowers, and you would get 2 weeks out of it. So the outlay is expensive. I think these are, I think we pay something like $4 cost a stem, because they come from Indonesia. So Sue is she's just basting that up first, which once again the greenery goes in first, and she'll just last of all add her lotus pods and her anthuriums. Gumia leaves.
Jan, what's the rule about water level in your vase? As far as, too much might what with them or something, I don't know.
Well, an acceptable water level is, Karina, that one? That would be acceptable.
Something like this is a little bit too low. Just a little bit.
Before they go out on a delivery, they're usually filled up a little bit more, because on the road they tip out a bit, and we always have bright red water daily. You don't really need to water them daily, but a lot of people forget, so we just put please water daily, but just top them up every 2 days. Who tops them up here? The staff do. Oh, that's wonderful. There's a beautiful arrangement downstairs. I love that arrangement. Who did that one?
Emily.
Ruth. I thought it might have been Ruth's. Beautiful. Yeah, she's very creative. Love her flowers. What else are we going to make today? So it doesn't have to be costly, and it's all, to me, the foliages are so very important, and I'm sure you girls have got gardens what are you doing with that pin?
I'm just running a wire down the stem of the anthurium, just so that what it basically allows us to do is have a bit of flexibility in where we direct, because it's such a big obvious shape as well. We sort of don't want them all going a bit crazy, so running the wire down the stem just allows us to manipulate exactly where we would like them to sit once we put them in the arrangement.
This has become quite a popular arrangement, this Go Green. So it's soaking the oasis, make sure, when we use the oasis, make sure we soak it really well. We have one here that we don't use it, but it's one that soaks very quickly. And the vases, do we clean the vases regularly? Yeah, it's the clean, because the bacteria, I mean, we have part-time people come in and scrub our buckets with bleach, and it's a full-time job having clean vessels. So that's important. And having that well in the container, if we're going to use Oasis, we have to have a well that when the staff or a person at home is filling up that arrangement, there is an easy place for it to be topped up. Yeah, we just get a knife and cut a piece out. It's very important. So the big white one is just too big for us to have at the club, isn't it, upstairs? We've got another lovely white one, that white ceramic one, haven't we? Yeah, that's, I love that, yeah. So that will last really well, if it had a bit more water. Here I am talking about water. You better fill it up, Susanna.
Just a little bit empty.
She's empty. So we're going to leave these all in the club this week. So you're going to have some beautiful flowers. Oh, just show them how. This is just another little designer trick here.
Yeah. Again, if you've got quite a large opening on the vase and you don't have a lot of flowers to fill it, sometimes, you know, when it sort of all tends to slump to one side, it's another good trick to sort of bulk up the vase without really overfilling it with greenery and flowers. So what we would do is roll these over and flip it up again. So the base of the stem is still in the water, and submerging the leaf doesn't really affect it too much. And then just giving the leaf itself a bit of bulk gives you something to work around, and it tends to hold everything else around it up. So it's just another little trick.
The Gymea leaves, amazing. All right, that's good. Anything else? Have we got any more questions?
Jan, would you mind repeating what you said about waterproof cellophane?
Oh, the waterproof cellophane. Because we didn't want to use a really large vessel, there is a waterproof cellophane that we use. It wrap flowers in, and it's a 40 micron, and it just secures the container, and if water spills out, it's going to protect the container. But we use it a lot. I mean, I've seen people put it in the vase to give the vase, if you've got a long vase and short flowers, you can scrunch it up and put it in the bottom, and it won't harm the flowers at all.
Have you got any there?
We haven't got any spare waterproof cellophane. Can you take a little bit out so the girls can?
We've used it all.
I was just wondering, if you make a posy at home and then you take it to a friend, what's the best thing to put around it? Like, you've got a posy like that, and then what do you put around it?
Oh, to keep the stems moist. Oh, yeah. We normally wrap them in a mesh wrap, don't we, the posies?
Yeah, something softer is generally best.
Very soft.
Yeah. You don't want anything harsh against the flowers, and because obviously when you're doing the small posy work as well, you are using softer flowers, so you don't want a hard wrapping that's going to damage the blooms.
But if you've made the posy at home and you're going to, you have the flower and you're going to visit the friend, I think just any tissue that you might have at home, or it's still just a very traditional. I mean, the posy's been around for such a long time. There's nothing new really. Well, we do use textured wraps now, fabric wraps.
For wedding, I guess you put wrap a whole.
We bind the tapes with satin ribbon. Yeah.
You could also even finish it off with just greenery. If you didn't necessarily want to wrap it, or you didn't have anything to wrap it in, just whatever greenery you have, if it's from your garden that you're picking, nice ivy or any kind of leaves that you could just finish around it. Sometimes that's even just nice and simple with a cute little bow. Yeah.
You could wrap a leaf around the stem.
Yes, around the stems, yes.
Or you could just wrap ribbon around the stem.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So this is this is good, but I still prefer the willow grid. I love that one. Another question here.
Jan, do you use leaf gloss?
Oh, there it is. Oh. Okay, spray, off you go.
We would generally use it on the tropical leaves mainly. So the monstera leaves, or even something like the ginger foliage, just gives it a nice lush shine. Generally, we would try not to use it on the foliage of the flowers too much. It does restrict the greenery from breathing, so it's putting a greasy sort of film over the leaves. So things like the roses, I wouldn't recommend spraying the rose foliage with this, because it tends to shorten the life of the flower. The foliage does need to breathe, as we all know, it breathes in our carbon dioxide, doesn't it? So it does restrict that in somewhat.
So Karina, can you spray one of the monstera leaves there?
Probably already got a bit of a sheen on it.
I don't think we use a lot of it, do we? I prefer the natural. I mean, a lot of the tropical leaves come in are very clean anyway, aren't they, when they arrive? So there we are. I think, Helen, where is she?
She's gone.
Okay. I think we're just about finished, unless anybody else has any questions at all. I hope we've taught you a few little tricks today. It's been lovely to be here and share our secrets with you.
I just want to confirm when you were talking about the cellophane, is that in the large container? Is that what you've used to wrap around between the container and the...
We've secured it with a cellophane. But you come up and have a look after we've finished. Just walk up and you can feel it. Do you use it a lot, girls, with the cellophane?
Only usually on big items like this where you need something to fill between, but to also steady it. And you don't want anything too heavy, so the cellophane works quite well because you can crunch it up and it gives you the stiffness without the weight.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big pot.
It's huge. And they look good. We're finished. Thank you very much.